Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another Warframe video. Today I don't know what kind of video this is going to be, but I actually just wanted to talk about a few things regarding Warframe. Starting off with, actually before we begin, I just want to say thank you all for everyone who subscribes. I truly appreciate it. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers. That really means a lot to me. I never thought that I would be able to have as many subscribers as I do already. And I'm ready for the future of my YouTube channel. I'm ready to crank out some amazing videos for you guys. I wanted to talk about the open worlds in Warframe. I had said this in my earlier videos for Warframe, but I actually started playing this game back when I first got my PlayStation 4, which was, I think, like 2015 or so, 2014, 2015. And I believe Warframe came out for PS4 around that year, 2013-ish, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that. But they had released it for PS4. And around that time, I saw that it was free, so I'm like, let me check this game out. I never heard anything about it. Usually when it comes to free titles, 9 times out of 10, not good. They're usually really crappy games, including this, in my opinion. Warframe was kind of weird, honestly. When I first played this game, I was very confused. The graphics weren't that good. It was just a lot to take in. I tried to get into it. I think I had a few hours in, and then I encountered the modding system. I was absolutely confused when I first tried to mod a weapon in the Warframe. It actually made me not play the game anymore because it was too confusing, and I just gave up. I'm like, you know what, forget this. This game is too difficult for no reason, you know? Why is a game so difficult if it's free? Aren't you supposed to draw in the players to make them want to play? I dropped the game, uninstalled it, and I haven't played it in, let's say, 2 or 3 years after that. After I decided to pick the game back up, I'm like, you know what, let me give this game another shot. I watched a few tutorials online on YouTube to help me understand how the modding system worked, and it actually took me a few days to actually get a firm grasp on how it worked. Even till this day, there are still a few things I don't really understand, like, for example, additive damage versus multiplicative damage. All that stuff is still kind of shady, but for the most part, it's not that difficult to understand once you actually kind of know how it works. A few years after I got back into it, maybe about 1 or 2 years, I believe the Plains of Eidolon had just came out. Now before it came out, they had announced it, and I had saw a comment from another YouTuber. I think his quote was, "Is this Warframe 2? And I saw that and I'm like, oh my gosh, are they making a Warframe 2? Turns out there is no Warframe 2. Anyways, Plains of Eidolon released on October 12th, 2017. I was so hyped for that update, guys. I was absolutely ecstatic when it came out. I was having the time of my life, okay? You know, they had released Plains of Eidolon, and they dropped the, the Eidolon hunts with that. I believe Revenant also came out. Actually, I think it was Gara. Yeah, Gara was the release Warframe for that update. Usually when they come out with a big update, they usually have a new Warframe, and I believe Gara was that Warframe. And Gara, dude, I farmed her, and I had a blast. Even till this day, I still play her. She's one of my favorite Warframes. She is absolutely goated. Like, if you know how to play her, you will never die, and you will kill everything. She is honestly, in my opinion, somewhat underused. I haven't looked at the player use charts on how many people actually play which Warframes. I haven't checked that out. But Gara, in my opinion, I never see people play her that much. Same thing with like Octavia. Octavia is like busted, but no one ever plays her. Including me, honestly. I don't know why, I just don't really play her, but she's like probably the best Warframe in the game. Plains of Eidolon, I had a blast playing that. I played it I still play it till this day. You know, if I don't know what to do in the game, I'll just hop in, Plains of Eidolon and just run around. because it's a nice area. It's a nice place to be. When it first came out, the graphics weren't all that great, and I believe a few years later they released a HD texture pack or something for the game that makes it look really good now, regardless on what platform you play it on. Then in 2019, April 4th, they actually remastered the Plains of Eidolon. They updated the map, and they updated pretty much the entirety of PoE. And it looks good now, you know? I don't really remember how it looked back then when it first came out, but I do know that it looks pretty good now, and usually when you go back to playing an old game with bad graphics, it kind of deters you from playing it because the graphics are so bad. And it's good that they updated the graphics for PoE. Now fast forward about 2 years or so, and they come out with Fortuna. The Orb Valis, okay? Fortuna was absolutely amazing. Even to this day, I still play it, but honestly, I'm not as big of a fan as I am the Plains of Eidolon. I don't know why, it's just the scenery. I don't really care for the icy mountains and snow, but it's still a really good place to go if you're bored. And when I saw that they had the hoverboards and the cool videos before the game actually dropped, or the update actually dropped, I was like, man, Warframe is really making something out of itself, you know? It's making a name for itself. And then when it actually launched, I was blown away. I love Orb Valis. I forget the name of the quest, but it's also really good. You have the Orb Mother, you have all the Orb boss battles. I forget which names. I haven't played it in such a long time. I believe you also get Hildren from defeating some of the Orb Mothers. They came out with the Fracture thing, where you get the, it's the Ion Blaster Cannon, I forget what it is. It's like a anti-matter bazooka laser thing, I forget the name of it. But they came out with like a better version of that during the Thermal Fracture side quest. That was pretty cool. If you farm one of the Orb Mothers, I forget the actual name of it, but if you use Chroma, you can get like double credits using his effigy ability right before it dies in the end. So that's also pretty cool. Originally, I used to do the index to farm credits, but ever since I found out about that, that's where I go to farm credits. Anytime you guys get double credit XP or anything like that, you definitely want to go do Orb Valis. Bring Chroma, have someone who has Chroma with you, get double credits. You probably get like, you know, 500,000 credits or something crazy. It's pretty nice. There's not much for me to say about, you know, Orb Valis. Like I said, it's not my favorite place, but it's also another open world place that you can visit, apart from the Plains of Eidolon, which, like I said, I think it's the best so far. Fast forward about a year or so, actually, and then they came out with the Hearts of Deimos. Now, in my opinion, I am not a fan of the infested enemy type. However, the Hearts of Deimos and what's it called? The Cambion Drift, I believe. I actually think this is probably one of the best open worlds in the game, specifically because of how the credit system works in this game, or not the game, but in this open world. So for example, say if you're Mastery rank 20, so your cap for standing in the Plains of Eidolon, pretty much any cap in any, you know, clan or whatever, say if you're Mastery rank 20, it'll be 20,000 standing, that's the cap for the day. And say you did 3 or 4 bounties in the Plains of Eidolon, then you're capped out for the standing for that day, so you have to wait another day just to do more bounties to get standing. Well, in the Hearts of Deimos, basically what happens is when you get all the tokens, you can collect tokens as much as you want. Then you can just spend them all on, you know, standing. So say if you can only play this game for like once or twice a week, you just play all day, get a whole bunch of tokens, and then for each day you would spend all the tokens to reach the cap, so you don't have to keep grinding every single day for bounties. You know what I'm saying? I probably explained it weird, but you know, I hope that they would eventually change each open world to have the same type of standing system, because I think this is perfect. But anyways, Cambion Drift, it's basically an infested open world, but this is also when they released the mechs, the necromechs, which are also like really cool. apart from all of that, this open world, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Infested, but I think this is one of the better open worlds apart from the Plains of Eidolon. So if you haven't, also I forgot about the vaults. The vaults in this open world are pretty cool. You can get some pretty nice mods, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really nice. I almost forgot another major update for this game, and it's Empyrean, or Railjack as you like to call it. This came out, I believe it came out a few months after or before the Orb Valis or the Fortuna update. Now, honestly, in my opinion, anytime I play Warframe, I never use the Railjack. I never go out and do Railjack missions. I just think it's boring. You know, when they had first, not released, but first debuted this whole update, like a year or two before it actually came out, it seemed really, really cool, but that's usually how video game companies do. They usually like to make a future update seem like it's going to be the best thing ever, and half the time it usually is pretty good, with some minor things that makes people think like, wow, it's not what it seemed to be, you know? In this case, I don't really know how to say this, but I think Empyrean sucks. I think Railjack sucks. I think all of it sucks. The concept is really cool, but I don't really think it's executed as well as it could be. I was thinking maybe Railjack should be third person, but then again, you know, this is a third person game, and I'm like, I don't think there's much that they can do to fix Railjack. I doubt anyone plays Railjack to this day. There's no real incentive to do so, in my opinion. If you want a whole bunch of loot, just do the vaults and the Cambion Drift. That's all I gotta say, really. I watched a video not too long ago about the new update coming out for this game. And as most of you may already know, it's called the Duviri Paradox. This update was teased in like 2019 or something. And fast forward like 3 or 4 years later, and it'll be coming out, I believe, April this year. I'm not entirely sure. I think it comes out April. I watched a video about this update, and the game looks really good. I'm sorry, I keep saying game. The new update looks really, really good. I am honestly hoping that they knock it out the park with this update. In my honest opinion, when it comes to an open world video game, I don't think Warframe open world areas is really that good, like as a whole. I know I said Plains of Eidolon and then the Cambion Drift are really good, which they are. It feels like there's nothing really to do in the open worlds, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, you can go fishing, you can go hunting, you can do some minor side quests, and of course there's the bounties and all that stuff. It's just that, you know, if you were to take a look at Destiny, for example, I think the way Bungie implemented their quote-unquote open world concept in Destiny is actually pretty good because, you know, for example, if you look at Earth and Destiny or Destiny 2, you know, you have Earth and you have a whole bunch of other areas in Earth. It's kind of an open world, and then there's also like world events going on at the same time, apart from like side quests, and there's a lot to do in just Earth alone. You know, you have Venus and you have different planets and stuff. I feel like this update is going to be more like the way Destiny's open world is, and in that there's going to be a lot of different places you can go in the game, and a lot of different types of side quests and world events going on. That's what I feel like this game is going to be like. I'm hoping it's like that. You know, we're probably going to be disappointed in some things, but that's okay. I'm just hoping this update is better than every other open world update that this game has. My favorite update so far in this game was the Angels of Zaramon. I think that was probably the coolest update that they have. Let me know in the comment section if you would like to see me talk more about this update when it actually drops. Granted, I'm probably not going to be able to show any gameplay of myself playing because, if you already know, I don't have much progress on my PC account. I have everything maxed out. I have everything like 100% on my PS4 account, and that's a whole nother complaint that I have about cross save. If you want to check that out, I actually made a video about this whole cross save thing. I will have it pop up here or something. I'll leave it in the description so you can check it out. I am just trying to get to 1,000 subs because seeing 1,000 subs would be really nice. So please, if this video helped out and any questions you may have had about anything, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.